Grand Rising. Show starts in about 5 minutes. And in 5 minutes, excuse me, 6 minutes, it'll be showtime at the Apollo tonight. Oh, what? It's showtime this morning on Monday Morning Mindfulness. Okay, close that and get ready to open the show promo. It's in here somewhere. I just saw it. There it is. I gotta sneeze. Excuse me. Do 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 do. There you go. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. 5 minutes. Four minutes. Three minutes. What happened? Two minutes. 2 minutes. One minute. Two, one.
Women have the power to transform this world. We can end crime and violence if we all agree to do one thing. Share. Let's share our wisdom. Share our finances. But most of all, let's share our love. Every morning, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. If you're listening online at www.blogtalkradio.com/the-female-solution, click the blue button that says follow and get our daily topics every morning directly to your email and your smartphone. Hi, I'm Naima Latif, executive producer of the Female Solution Radio Show. We invite you to call in 515-605-9325 and participate in this daily think tank as we examine the challenges we face and develop solutions that restore peace and harmony. We are global transformers, changing the world from the way it is to the way it should be. We are one. Wherever we live on this earth, we are one human family. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to extend a greeting to all the members of our family, whenever and wherever you may be listening around the world. To our family in China, Ni Hao, in India, Namaste, in Japan, Konnichiwa, in Korea, Annyeonghaseyo, in Russia, Здравствуйте, in Germany, Guten Tag, in Poland, Dzień dobry, in France, Bonjour, in Spain, Hola, in Italy, Ciao, in Egypt, Asamasaka, in Ghana, Aquaba, in Nigeria, Kenya, in South Africa, Salborna, in Senegal, Nangaba, in Kenya, Zambo, in Israel, Shalom, in Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Saudi Arabia, Assalamu alaikum. Greetings, and may peace be upon you all. Is Monday morning a struggle to get out of bed into the swing of things? Well, don't worry, you are not alone. Join us for thought-provoking, stimulating, and mindful conversations on higher learning with Zelda Speak for your Monday morning mindfulness session on Blog Talk Radio, the Female Solution, Mondays, 7:30 until 9 a.m. Be sure to send your ideas, thoughts, comments, and suggestions. Also, if you'd like to be a guest on the show, visit DeltaSpeaks.com and visit your info. We'd love to have you. Experience mindfulness moments with the mindfulness/stretching coach, Zelda Speaks. And thanks for sharing the mindfulness moments with us today. Stay on purpose, stay empowered. Stay tuned to the next session of mindfulness on higher learning with Zelda Speaks. Your mindful day. Thanks for listening.
Grand Rising. And thank you for joining me so much this morning here on the Female Solution Higher Learning with Zelda Speaks on Monday Morning Mindfulness. It is Monday, December 7th. Actually, it's the first Monday of the month as we are celebrating you and your victory and still being here this morning, because millions didn't make it, but you are one of the ones who did. So celebrate you. And thank you for joining me this morning. I'm Zelda Speaks, your mindful and stress relief coach. And we'll be having the stress relief session at 7:15 a.m. So call or text a friend and let them know that they can release some of that stress, because that's what it's all about today. Holiday stress, holiday hiccups. How to avoid the insanity that we're about to experience, as if we don't already have enough. Anyway, happy Earth Day, birthday, born day. If today is your birthday and you're celebrating, we're celebrating it with you. And let us keep in mind those who are affected by the prayer, affected by this pandemic, and those who have made their transition, and those who are not feeling well this morning. Let us keep them all in prayer today. Our guest today is Lionel Abdul Haaque of Community Cultivations, our monthly contributor who always brings a fresh new perspective on whatever is going on in the world. And right about now, there's a whole lot of craziness going on. At 7:30, we'll be joined by Diane Latiker of Kids Off the Block. She has a wonderful organization in Roseland that we have been partners with, so to speak, in many years ago when she first got started. And the Higher Learning Network TV show, which airs Tuesdays at 6, Wednesdays at 1 on 10 on 19, came out to film her. I think we started with her in our second one. And all the wonderful things that she's been doing in the Roseland community, keeping our children safe, because it's a jungle, it's a war. And she'll be here to tell you about that a little later. If you're listening online, and we'd love to have your comments this morning at 515-605-9325. Press 1 to speak. And also, if you're on social media, like Facebook, and we're on Zelda's Facebook.com, Zelda Speaks, and Facebook HLN TV show. So please like, and more importantly, subscribe. And as you can see, at the bottom of my screen here, it says Higher Learning Leaders. Please share and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's Higher Learning Network TV show. Okay? And if you are a higher learning leader, and I know you are, because otherwise you wouldn't be listening or watching this show, you can open your phone and go to the Google Store or the Play Store and download the Higher Learning Network app. Yes, we have an app. So you can keep up to date with us and what's going on. And please share that with someone. And if you are a diabetic, or you have diabetic tendencies, you have a tendency to eat a little bit too much sweet potato pie, like me, and a few others, then you need to know that chances are you may be a diabetic. So you might want to go and get those numbers checked. And in the meantime, I've prepared an ebook for you. It's free online at higherlearningnetwork.org or diabeticdonut.com. It's on both of those, and you can go and get that free download on how I reversed type 2 diabetes, and you can do it too. And if you're eating too much and the food is costing you an arm and a leg, I am so proud. I thought I'd have this done today, but I will have it done today. Just didn't have it done in time for this broadcast. I've been growing my vegetables through my tower garden, and it is so beautiful. And I'm going to put that up on my page shortly. And I want you to see how they are growing, how they went from little bitty seedlets to, you had to sprout them, and then they grow up. And it's like, we've been eating off of them. And the arugula and the basil smells. Oh, it's like a perfume. It smells so good. I don't want to eat it, but I got to eat it. That's what we're growing it for. Anyway, If you want to learn how to grow your own veggies and you live in an apartment like I do, go to zeldarobinson.towergarden.com. And all the information is there. You can get on the payment plan. And because groceries about they are outrageous and they're only going to get worse. You think toilet paper and alcohol and pine sol was an issue then? Keep living. And if you're suffering from pain and arthritis and inflammation and things of that nature, you can also check out my site, zelda.now.site. That's SITE, zelda.now.site. As we take a look at your traffic and weather, which is sponsored by Karen Kelly of itex.com. And as you can see right here at the bottom, that is Karen Kelly at itex.com. If you're an entrepreneur or business owner and you are in need of supplies or equipment or just everyday things, they have everything. You bought cars, cameras, travel, you name it, we've done it. itex.com. And Karen Kelly is my broker there. As we take a look at CTA and Metro, there are no delays, but inbound on the Kennedy is a whole other story. It is 22 minutes inbound, 25 on the reverse. That on the Edens is 25 in and 24 out. On the Eisenhower, 26 in and 28 out. On the Stevenson, it's 18 minutes in and 18 minutes out. And on the day in Ryan's inbound, a little slow. It's 15 minutes in and 16 minutes out. That earlier accident at 55th Street has been cleared. On the Bishop Ford and Lakeshore Drive, 11 minutes in both directions. There are no delays. And that's your traffic and weather, sponsored by Karen Kelly of itex.com. If you tune in every day this week or whatever day you like, you need to know that 7 days a week we are on the air. On Tuesday, it's Let's Talk About It with my Ika. And she's been talking about the chakra, healing the chakras. And many people don't have a clue as to what chakras is. And it has a lot to do with what happened in your past and how we still hold those emotions in our bodies. You've heard the term issues in our tissues. Well, that's why, because we're still holding on to things that happened in the past. We can't let it go. And we got complications going on in the body. Because one of the things that I experienced was one day I woke up and my back was hurting. I couldn't walk. And I was like, oh, God, I can't get a hold of my chiropractor. And Tony, why do you do that? Make me lose my. See, I should turn the camera around you so people can see you. That'll get you out of here, won't it? Yeah, I know how to get rid of it. Everybody see your raggedy long johns. Who was I saying? I lost my train of thought. I was talking about what was I talking? Oh, the chakras. The chakras. I had issues with my sister who was 5 years older than me, but she was steady having babies, and I'm the babysitter. I'm the built-in babysitter. And Michael and I were talking about, and it just came up, and I was like, wow, I didn't think about that. Something that she said to me, and something that was going on between me and my sister. And I was like, wow, yeah, what was that? 60, 50 plus years ago, and I'm still carrying that garbage around in my head and in my tissue and in my being. So it was like, there's a little therapy going on. You know, we all need to be in therapy at some point because we all got issues. If you American, you came to this country, your parents, your parents brought you to this country. Well, we won't go there. History. If you are Black living in America, if you are living in America, period, it's not even about color at this point. If you are living in America, you've got some issues, you got some trauma, you got some drama. Because we are not being treated fairly. No one is. And I see that is all over the world. That's just not in America. But anyway, I digress. I have a tendency to do that sometimes. I'm at the age where I can do that and I don't give a care. But thank you for caring. But, you know, we all need therapy. We all need somebody to talk to. And if you can't get to a therapist, talk to yourself. Talk to myself. I don't care what people say, because I got all the answers for me. So if we say it out loud, that's what this meditation is all about. So we'll get to that in a minute. Anyway, on Wednesdays, let's Naima Latif and Kareem Hamid, Repairing Family Relationships. Thursday, it's Family Matters with Wendy City DeLoach, Esquire, our attorney here on The Female Solution. And Friday, health and wellness with Viata. And on Saturdays, it's Move Around with Deborah. Oh, the Saturday shows are not on at 7 o'clock in the morning. They are at night. So you might want to keep that in mind. Saturday, not at night. Why did I just say at night? Saturday show is 2 a.m. to 12 p.m. until noon. Saturday, 12 p.m. until noon. And those hosts are Jana, which was the first Saturday, Nonviolent Communication. Jana is in London, England, so she's our international host. On the second one, it's Move Around with Deborah, and Love, Joy, and Power is the third one. And the fourth Saturday is Wisdom with Mama D, who will be coming up with us on the 21st as we talk about the Unity Week, and we'll be talking about that later. And on Sunday, last night, Soul Purpose Healing, and the number 9 Viata talked about. If you did not get a chance to hear that, then you must go back and listen. And you can listen to any of the shows. In case you missed any of the shows, they are there 24/7, 7 days a week. It is 7:15 a.m. time for your Monday morning mindfulness meditation. I will not be reading from my book today, but I will be reading from a poem that Carol Hibbler sent me. It's a poem that she's a poet. Not only, remember, Carol was on here some time ago, and she's a librarian. Well, she's also a poet too, and I didn't know that. So she wrote a poem, and I want to share that with you. And it says, it's about stumbling by Carol Hibbler. Stumbling is where you walk and find you are not walking. Stumbling is where you find yourself spread on the ground instead of standing on your feet. Stumbling is where your feet try to make a fool of you. Stumbling is to go where you are not looking when you mean to go where you are looking. Stumbling is to get your feet mixed so you don't go down. Stumblers are of two kinds: those who come up quick and those who say, "Where am I?" Well, if you ever want to stumble, if you never want to stumble, then you need to be a fish or a bird. And that's a poem from Carol Hibbler. And that's stumbling. She says, who'd have thought it? I never would have thought it. So thank you, Carol, for calling in and sharing that information with us, your poetry. So be sure and send it every week, and I'll read it every week. And if you've got poetry you'd like to share with us, we'd love to have your poetry too. And speaking of poetry, the contest is in the teen talent contest is in full effect. We were going through the contestants, singers, dancers, poets, actors, writers, speakers, journalists, and the talent is simply awesome. And I can't wait to share with you. And if you look at our Facebook page, HLN TV Show, and Zelda Speaks, you'll see that the information is there December 16th and December 26th. Do I have those days right? Yeah, those are the days. It's 2 Saturdays. The 19th. December 19th is round 1. December 26th is round 2. And then we'll be announcing the winners here on December 28th. So we want you to join in and be a part of that. And you can vote so that you can show support to these children. Okay? So let us now take time for our Monday morning mindfulness breathing experience. It's a meditation experience where we simply sit up straight in our chairs. I can't clean my glasses this morning. I don't know why. I guess because the light's shining in my face. Sit up straight in our chairs, feet flat on the floor, back erect, and we will simply breathe in and breathe out to the count of 5, hold it, and then release it. And you are not looking at me. You should be looking at the inside of your eyelids. So close your eyes. Bring those hands up over your head and simply stretch. Yes, feel that stretch. It feels so good. Oh, turn both ways. Yes, the body appreciates it when you move. The body is an amazing, for lack of a better word, phenomenal is more like it. All the abuse that we put on our body and it's still here, taking it, kicking it. So as we become still, close our eyes and we'll inhale deeply to the count of 5. Hold it. And exhale. Ooh, just with that one breath. Do you feel how good that feels? Let's do that again. Inhale deeply. Hold it. And exhale. Once more. Inhale deeply. Hold it. And exhale. And continue to breathe in. Take a long, deep inhale, filling that chest up, filling that stomach up as you breathe in and as you breathe out. Inhale deeply. Giving thanks for the power of the breath because someone somewhere does not have this breath. You are one of the lucky ones who do. Inhale deeply. As we are bringing that energy from our breath to the top of our head, feeling that energy move down through our forehead, our face, and our nose, and our chin as we inhale deeply. Feeling the energy flow on down through the shoulders, rotate those shoulders, those arms, those elbows, and those wrists as we inhale. Bringing that energy down through the chest and the stomach and the sides and the hips as we continue to breathe in. Sending that energy on down through the hips, the knees. Yes, those glorious knees. Rub those knees and those legs and those thighs. Sending that energy on down as you continue to breathe in. Sending love and light and energy through the legs, the ankles, and the arches. Rub on that body. Let that body know you love it and appreciate it. Sending it love and light and love and light and more love and light and more energy as we breathe in. And as we breathe out, feeling the energy in our feet and our toes and the bottom and the top of our feet, wiggling those toes, sending that energy back up through the breath. Inhale deeply, bringing that energy back up through the ankles, the legs, the knees, and the thighs. We give thanks for all of our body parts. All of our lower extremities are working. And even if you do not have legs to walk on, you still have the energy in your body to guide your breath as we breathe in. Bringing that energy back on up through the hips, the buttocks and the back, and the stomach and the chest as we breathe in. Bringing that energy on up through the solar plexus, back up to the shoulders and the arms and the elbows as we breathe in. Taking a long, deep breath, bringing that energy back up through the face and to the top of the head as we give thanks for the power of the breath that is rotating and re-energizing each and every inch of our body. As we breathe in, hold it, and as we breathe out, we are our eternal love as we repeat the words, because we are the signals that we send our bodies. As we love on each and every part and instrument and organ in our body, we give thanks as we use two of the most powerful words on the planet. As we breathe in and as we breathe out, I am love. Inhale deeply. And as we breathe out, I am eternal light. Breathe in once more. And as we breathe out, I am eternal energy. As I breathe in, I give thanks for all of the love and the light and the energy that I am sending through every inch of the muscles, of the tendons, and the ligaments and the cells in my body as they are receiving the love and the light that I am sending. I breathe in, giving thanks for each and every organ in my body, beginning with the brain and the heart and the throat as we breathe in. As we give thanks for the passage of air that moves throughout each and every organ, our digestive system, our elimination system, our circulation system, and all of the systems that support each other without our even thinking of it. They work on our behalf as designed by the Creator. As we breathe in, hold it, and as we breathe out, and just resonate with that breath, giving thanks that you are always at the right place, at the right time, doing the right thing. As we breathe in, take one more long, deep inhale deeply. Hold it. And just marinate in the breath of life. As we repeat the words to ourselves and out loud if you like. I am grateful. Inhale deeply. I am grateful. Yes, I marinate. Let the body feel all the love, the light, and the energy that you just gave. As we breathe in, inhale deeply. I am immune to disease. That is the signal that we are sending our bodies today. Let's breathe in once more on that. As we exhale, I am an immune production machine. There is no disease in my body that my immune system can't handle. As we inhale deeply, I am immune to disease. 3 times in the order of things. Once more, inhale deeply. I am immune to disease. Just let that marinate in the body. Inhale deeply. I am immune to disease. And know that the power of your health and your healthy immune system begins right here in your mind. As you breathe in, hold it, and exhale. And know that the power of your breath begins with a thought. The power of healing your body begins with a thought. Sometimes you can take a little essential oils and mix it in your hand, like lavender or frankincense or lemongrass or peppermint. Some kind of essential oil. Rub it in your hand. Inhale. Oh, the body appreciates that, and you sending all that love and light through the power of essential oils into your hands. That you can do and experience the goodness that is in your body that you are in charge of. Let's take one more long, deep inhale deeply. And this time, as you blow out, bring your face forward, chin to chest, and slowly rotate that head to the left. Slowly. Slow down, moving too fast, and slowly rotating it to the right. Slowly, slowly, slowly bringing it around to the front. Head up. Inhale deeply. And bring the head back down, chin to chest. Slowly rotating the head to the right. Slowly, slowly, slowly bring the head around to the left. Slow down. See, you're moving too fast. And slowly bring that head back around to the right. To the front, chin to chest. Head up. Inhale deeply. And look to your left as far as you possibly can. And bringing it back center. Inhale deeply. And looking to the right as far as you possibly can. Feeling the stretch in your neck on the right-hand side. And bringing it back. Does that not feel good? You just set the day for feeling good. Ladies and gentlemen, I see the smile on your face because you have just activated the happiness gene. So when you catch yourself today during the course of a conversation when all the madness is going on and you find yourself smiling, people say, "What's wrong with you, girl?" I activated my happiness gene. Ooh, how'd you do that? Well, you go to Zelda Speaks and on YouTube. Go to my YouTube channel, Zelda Speaks, and you'll see it. You'll see all that you need to see to help you maintain your sanity in a mist of madness. And that's what we're talking about here today on the Female Solution. And I hope that once you go to my YouTube channel on Zelda Speaks, that you will share that with someone. And if you want more information on YouTube, it's available on another YouTube channel. It's called Zelda Speaks Mindfulness. So there's 2 channels, so you can get a lot from both channels. So I ask you to share that information to make your day, not only your day, but someone else's day better. So all you have to do is really breathe when you're stressed out. You know, they give us all these pills and, just stand up and stretch. Stand up and breathe. But I promise you, if you take a long, deep breath and got a little funk on your breath in the morning, onions, some garlic, people will back up off you. I promise you. So all you have to do, in the words of Layla Hathaway, is you simply breathe. And we're going to take a break and come back with Diane Latiker of Kids Off the Block, and you stay close.
You're tuned in to the Soulful Chicago Book Fair 2020 Vision Fundraising Campaign. That's right. You can support the vision of reviving Black literary excellence in the city by simply taking your $20 or more and donating it on our website. Visit www.soulfulchicagobookfair.com and click the Donate tab on our homepage. Or give us a call at 646-359-6605, and we welcome you, helping us breathe literary life into the South Side of Chicago. We all say we would like to be wealthy, but wealth isn't determined by how much money you have. Wealth is determined by your power to define what money is. The dictionary defines money as something used as a way to pay for goods and services and to pay people for their work. So how would you like to have access to an unlimited source of money? Money that is not taxed by the government. Money that increases as you share the opportunity with others. Money that you can use to pay for goods and services and pay people for their work. I'm talking about Bitcoin. It's the future of independent wealth building. Bitcoin is the new money that you control. Get started building your wealth. Call 312-849-3456. That's 312-849-3456. Are you constantly arguing with yourself? Are your children living acting out? Someone in your family who have you been taking with the silence? Are you grieving your way along with your life? Let us help you restore serenity to your life. At Serenity Family Social Services, we understand that good mental health is the result of emotional well-being. Our goal is to assist you and your family in removing emotional distress and restoring harmony and balance to your lives. We offer individual, couples, and family counseling. I'm Howard Williams, CEO of Serenity Family Social Services. Call us today at 312-315-4820. That's 312-315-4820. Do you want to live in a world without war? Join our global peace movement. Heavenly Culture World Peace and Restoration of Life transcends culture, religion, ideology, and other boundaries to achieve peaceful harmony in the global society. HWPL is committed to bringing world peace and cessation of war through peaceful dialogue between religious groups. I'm Director Kim of the HWPL Chicago branch of North America. Join us for our next gathering. Call 773-580-1501 and be a part of the movement for world peace. Email us at chicagohwpl@gmail.com. About finances, family, health, job, relationships. Are you in pain? Do you feel stuck? If you answer yes to any of these questions, help is available. Don't worry, you're not alone. It's part of the human process. You only feel this way because you haven't mastered the voices in your head. No hype, just down to earth, solid, workable tools and techniques that you can practice daily. It's really food for the soul. When you want to learn how not to worry about anything, reverse type 2 diabetes, publish a book, promote the product or service, or just make extra money. To take advantage of the deal of the day, go to zelda.speaks.com or call 212-409-6619. Mention promo code The Female Solution and get free shipping. That's zelda.speaks.com or 312-409-6619. Stop worrying today. Visit zelda.speaks.com.
Grand Rising. And thank you for joining us back here on The Female Solution. Welcome to Monday Morning Mindfulness. I'm your host, Zelda Speaks. And it is Monday, December 7th. Happy Earth Day, birthday, born day, if today is your birthday. I forgot to mention my niece, Tequila Robinson. She lives in Iowa. We call her Sugar Baby. And it's her daughter's birthday. And I forgot her daughter's name. So forgive me, niecey. Forgive me. Auntie had a brain fart. I forget things sometimes. But anyway, happy birthday to Sugar Baby's baby. How about that? From your Auntie Z. Okay? Happy Earth Day, birthday, born day to you. And let us always keep in mind those who are in prayer. We need to keep them in prayer. Those who are sick and shut in, and our essential workers, those who are affected most by this pandemic. Today, if you would like to join the conversation, feel free to call in at 515-605-9325. Press 1 to speak. We are about to be joined by Brother Lionel Abdul Haaque of Community Cultivations. But before I do that, let me remind you that the lineup for the week is on Tuesday. Let's talk about it with Maika. Wednesday, Naima Latif and Kareem Hamid, repairing family relationships. On Thursday, Family Matters with Wendy City Deloach, Esquire, our attorney here at The Female Solution. On Friday, Health and Wellness with Beata. Saturdays, the first Saturday is with Jana, Nonviolent Communication. And Jana is from London, England. So she is our international host. And the second Saturday is Love, Joy, Empowerment, the Black Taboo with Love, Joy, and Empowerment. Love, Joy, Empowers. And move around with Deborah on the third Saturday. And the fourth Saturday, wisdom with Mama D. And Saturdays we are on from 12 noon until 2 p.m. So, and if you can't make any of those, you can always go back and listen to them in the archives 24/7. They are available. And we are available to you this morning. And I am so appreciative that you are joining us this morning here on The Female Solution as we open up the phone lines 515-605-9325. Press 1 to speak. We are joined by my co-host today, Brother Lionel Abdul Haaque of Community Cultivations. And we're discussing holiday hiccups. How about that? How to maintain your sanity in the midst of all this madness that's going on. Welcome, Brother Lionel Abdul Haaque of Community Cultivations. And thank you for joining us this morning.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate the opportunity that you at the Female Solution allow for me to share with the astute and very intelligent listeners that you have.
Yes,
I appreciate the opportunity.
We call them higher learning leaders because leaders have insight. They listen and watch what's going on in the world from another perspective. So you are right on target when you say that, Lionel. And we are in the midst of being controlled like never before. And people are so stressed out because they don't have an idea of why this is happening. Not only why this is happening, but what can I do to keep my sanity? And you know what appears to me, Lionel, is that so much of the focus is on the outside, on the external, is that we've forgotten how to go within, because that's where all the answers are. We're listening to people, places, and things that steer us in another direction, and that is not of our best interest, like the vaccines. But I'm gonna leave that alone and let Lionel chime in on the conversation this morning. What are your thoughts on that, Lionel?
Yeah, well, it's a very serious situation, and I think the biggest problem in the modern world is, as I've expressed on a number of occasions, is the lack of seriousness, the lack of adult, mature, disciplined, morally concerned, human consciousness that we have fallen to in this modern world. People have been reduced to responding to influences of the flesh, influences that are associated with sensual responses, and to such a degree that they cannot muster the kind of will, the kind of maturity necessary to respond to not only this pandemic, which could be looked at as a hiccup. A hiccup is a biological reaction to what I would consider to be a disruption or some kind of upset in the cycle of breathing or some kind of life function, and that the body reacts with the hiccup as a reaction to that. And I think that in the context of the natural order that the Creator has established, whether you want to say Allah, Yahweh, Jehovah, the natural order that the Creator established has been upset by the lack of intelligent, mature behavior on the part of human beings. And the hiccup is a natural reaction to let you know that something is off. And this is what I think this pandemic is really manifesting. It's not even a full-fledged assault or response in the sense of a violent or disruptive attack on our social reality, but it is clearly letting us know that something is off, something is out of sync, and that the noise that we're hearing from people in response to it is like a hiccup, the sound that you make when you make a hiccup. It's a very slight disturbance, a signal from the body, like this. I think this pandemic is a very slight response compared to what could happen and what will happen if we don't get the message of the hiccup.
Powerful, my brother. Powerful. If we don't get the hiccup. I love that. The way you break it down, it's a biological reaction. And we have a choice to respond to that reaction or react to that reaction. And most of us are reacting. We are not responding. When we respond, before we speak, we take a moment to think about it, how it applies to us. I love the fact that you said it's a disruption of the cycle. It's a disruption of the system. And the system that we are living in is already disrupted. And it just brings about more disruption. And it's finally coming to light. And we can actually do something about it. We don't have to sit back and be watchers. We can actively become involved by making decisions that are of our best interest as a people, as humanity, not individuals. So you are right on target with that, Lionel, as you always are.
Well, praise be to the Most High. I think we are very emphasized. The American people in particular are suffering the most in the world. There are more people dying in this country than there are any place else in the world, at a higher rate. And we have far more material resources to deal with almost anything. But we don't have any. We can't change the mindset of childish, immature, silly-minded people who only want to do is have fun. And they are so disconnected from reality that they don't even see how the things that they seek to do are not even consistent with mature adult behavior. We think this is just the way it is and the way it's supposed to be. We like being like little children, thinking of having fun all the time. We rather play than work. And that is a backwards, insane mentality for the adults in this society as a whole. And to think that that's something that we should be proud of. Everything that we're dealing with right now in this last quarter, which is the most money-making quarter of the year, this is where most businesses really go into the black, as they call it, in terms of really making great profits for the whole year. And it's between Halloween and New Year's. And we are just getting past Halloween and Thanksgiving with a clear indication that we don't have the kind of serious, adult, mature response coming from the American people and particularly the president to deal with this situation. And it's unfortunate but I don't see a brighter future coming in the next couple of months. I think we are reaping what we have sown. We are what has gone down in terms of how we've been programmed in this world to make us easy to sell stuff to has created a situation that even those who have some sense of responsibility cannot control. They cannot change the mindset that they have put the American people into. And its consequences are going to be dire.
And that is why we are experiencing what we are experiencing today. Partially because we haven't been paying attention.
Well, we've been having too much fun.
Yeah. Wow.
I think fun is what life is all about. If you ain't having fun, you're not living.
Right.
And that's crazy. That is absolutely worse than childish. It's almost animalistic. What they call hedonistic self-indulgence is what we suffer from in this modern world. Just as they did in ancient Rome, in ancient Greece, and ancient Egypt in its decline. This is the fatal flaw in the design of a social system that exploits the masses of the people by keeping them on a level that they can be herded like cattle.
And keep them in fear by controlling them. By what?
Well, they don't fear God as much as they fear losing money.
Yeah.
The money that they need to have fun, and they fear that more than anything. And if they can't have the money that they need to keep having fun, then they are like little children who go into a psychosis of melancholy or anger and have fits of tirades because they are basically children. They're basically like little children. They do not have any discipline. They do not have any genuinely moral compass to guide them out of a bad situation. So they react like little children, and that's what we're doing. Like you tell a child they can't do something, they'll have a temper tantrum.
Right.
And that's what these people who are throwing off the mask and defying all the laws, all the rules, all the standards that would give us a fighting chance against this virus. We are our own worst enemy by virtue of the fact that we've been programmed to be little children.
How do you?
And the whole thing, and the thing with Christmas is really a very clear indication of how childish and immoral our behavior has become. Christmas ain't about Jesus at all. We don't even talk about Jesus. It's all about Santa Claus and the Easter and the reindeers and the lighting the trees and lighting up the streets with lights and stuff. It's the magical image, the magical idea that is associated with Santa Claus that these people have been given over to and that they are trying to maintain, even in the midst of a deadly, very serious disease. And that's unfortunate, but you reap what you sow.
I would like to ask you to explain something you said that most people may or may not may or may not get, a moral compass. Can you explain that?
Morality is fundamental to human life. It's like water. You got to have it. You can't have life without water. You cannot have human life without a sense of morality, what is right and what is wrong. With an inclination towards doing what's right, because it comes from a historical, long-lived practices that establish order and precision in the processes of life. There are certain fundamentals. You have to breathe, you have to drink water, you have to eat, and so on and so forth. Once you disrupt those natural cycles, once you undermine the validity of those practices to the point where people do them if they wanna, they don't do them if they wanna. Mm. There's no judgment, there's no condemnation, there's no ridicule for people who are immoral in the modern world. You can be as immoral as you want to be, as Donald Trump, and still be the president of the United States. Mm-hmm. And this is a sad commentary on the consciousness. So morals is more than just just something that you can do or not do. If you don't drink water, you will die. Mm. You will get sick and you will die. Mm-hmm. If you don't have morals, you will get sick and you will die. Mm. As a nation, as a society, it's not rocket science. It's just the way it is. And we do not have morals anymore. We don't even think about what's right and what's wrong, except whether it feels good, do it. If it feels good, go ahead. Yep. Have fun regardless. Yep. And that's the mindset that we have to change. We don't survive.
Yeah. I will. If we are to survive this, some years ago, Lionel, when I was studying with Nation of Hebrew Israelites, we went to Canada, and that was my first experience there. And on a Saturday night, I went to Saturday evening, rather. I went to get something to eat. I left my hotel and walked outside because we were having a study group. But we went outside to get something to eat, and it was on a Saturday evening. And I thought for some reason or another, because I was in Canada, it would be quiet on a Saturday night. And I mean, the streets were lit up. People were drunk beyond belief. And I was like, I thought this only happened in America. It's like, no, this was everywhere. It was a rude awakening for me, because I'm thinking that it's just like I said, it's like America, but it's all over. When I saw people drunk, like falling out drunk in the street, just having a good time like it was Mardi Gras, I was just so surprised. And then, as I said, it was an awakening for me to show how the thought process, how we are chained to a certain way of thinking globally. It's all around the world. And with this global pandemic that's going on right now, it highlights it even more, that we are being directed to something outside of ourselves because we've been programmed to do that something's wrong with you if you sit down and get quiet and start breathing and listening to something other than something that's going to scare you or keep you in bondage. Something's wrong with that. So the heck with all of that. Let's go listen to some music. Let's go get drunk. Let's have some fun. So I am with you on that the fact that we need to spend more time inside than outside. Who was that I heard say the revolution will... Oh, Lauryn Hill. I listened to her, and these are some quotes that she used. Lauryn Hill, I think you remember her from the Fugees and the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. And she said, the revolution will not be televised, but it will be internalized. How about that? So the real revolution comes from our getting quiet and listening to the still small voice within. Put the party away and listen, because that's the only way that you're going to survive. Because if you think you're going to survive with what you're being told to do, you got another thing coming. 515-605-9325. Press 1 to speak. If you are just joining the conversation this morning, Brother Lionel Abdul Haaque of Community Cultivations, and the discussion is on holiday hiccups, how to keep your sanity in the midst of madness, because this is a mad experience that we are having right now. So if you want to join the conversation, feel free to do so. As we come back, we will take your calls. But right now, we're going to take a quick break, and you stay close, and we'll be back.
What happens when a group of people are kidnapped from their homes, smuggled away in chains, and held captive in a foreign land where they are tortured, raped, and forced to perform hard labor by the lash of a whip and under the constant threat of death? Slavery, the African American psychic trauma. What happened to the doctors, writers, scientists, builders, educators, and spiritual leaders from Africa's golden age? Who did they really capture and sell into slavery? Are all African Americans suffering from psychic trauma because of a conspiracy to hide their true identities? Do you have psychic trauma? Take the test on page 22 of the book and see. Order it online today at www.naimalatif.com. That's www.naimalatif.com. And get your personally autographed copy of the book, Slavery, the African American Psychic Trauma. Spiritual counselor and advisor. I invite you to a private reading in the areas of business, health, finances, relationships. My introductory cost of $20. Please call because there is a higher power that can help me help you. 312-802-4743. Peace and blessings to you all. Call me. 312-802-4743.
Oh man, God sent the monthly sun bill today. This sunlight is really expensive, especially during this season. I'll probably have to work overtime to pay it.
Well, you better pay it on time. We don't want the sun to go out and we're sitting up here all day in the dark. Wouldn't it be terrible if God charged us for sunlight? Well, thank God, the light and heat from the sun is free. So why are we paying such high bills for the energy we use in our homes? Because we don't know how to use solar energy, the free energy from the sun. You can convert your regular home to a solar energy home and save tremendously on your electric bill. Take a look at your electric bill. Wouldn't you like to reduce or possibly even eliminate that cost altogether? Let one of our solar consultants show you how. Call today, 312-849-3456, and schedule a free consultation. That's 312-849-3456. Do you or your organization need space for an event? Call the Quarry Event Center at 2423 East 75th Street in Chicago for your parties, banquets, award ceremonies, repasses, concerts, and business seminars. Available 7 days a week. Now under new management. Call us at the Quarry at 773-663-2557. That's 773-663-2557.
Grand Rising, and thank you for joining us back here on The Female Solution. Welcome to Monday Morning Mindfulness. I'm your host, Zelda Speaks, and I am joined by our brother of the microphone, Lionel Abdul Haaque of Community Cultivations. And today's discussion is holiday hiccups, how to keep your sanity in the midst of the madness. One of my sisters of the microphone, Viata, which comes on Sunday night on Soul Purpose Healing and also Friday on Health and Wellness, sent me a little text saying, Gil Scott-Heron. Yes, I know you remember Gil Scott-Heron. Remember the song, Angel Dust? Yeah, that's the one most people remember. But there's also one, the revolution will not be televised. Lauryn Hill said it too. It will be internalized. So that means that the revolution that is to occur has to come from within, not without. It has to come from within us. As Lauryn Hill would say, you can't win if you ain't right within. So we got to go within. We got to do the work on self. As Iyanla Van Zant would say on Fix My Life, she's no longer there. She decided it's time to do something different. This is not an outside job. This is an inside job. But until you make the decision to do the work, because it's going to be painful. Some old stuff going to come up, like my issues with my sister came up. She was busy having babies, and I'm the babysitter, built-in babysitters, and it's like I'm carrying this trauma around all my life, which is one of the reasons why I didn't have children. It's like I'm sick of babysitting. I don't want to babysit nobody else's baby, including my own. Anyway, I digress. That's another story. But you want to keep that in mind. Let's go to the phone lines. 515-605-9325. Press 1 to speak as we go to the microphone. Area code 773-436. You're alive on the Female Solution, Grand Rising. What's your name? Where are you calling from? And what's your comment?
Hallelujah, greetings, global transformers.
Is that my Mama D? Yay! That's Mama D.
I'm just really totally in agreement with you, Brother Lionel. This is up here, please. But what I'd like to add is the hiccup is an automatic reflex. But what's happening to us is we have been led astray. Malcolm X said that media was the most powerful entity on earth. And I read in the dictionary that because it controls the minds of the masses. And I read in the dictionary that he is a deity that controls the minds of the masses.
Yes.
In other words, that's who God is. When you don't know the difference between being on God's side and having God on your side, then you have been led over to that reprobate mind. And as a society, as a world society, we are morally bankrupt. Because as you said, see, when you're a child, you're supposed to think like a child and reason like a child. But when you grow up, you're supposed to give up those childish ways. But we are immature. Me eat, me drink, me else. That's what we're about. It's your thing. Do what you want.
Do what you want to do.
And can't nobody tell you.
Who the Haaque too?
You know? So,
yes, ma'am.
You said money. Hey, now the money, it says, in God we trust. The money is God. Because it keeps you in that illusionary land. You can be distracted with your sports and play basketball and other kind of balls. And you can be distracted with your eat, drink, and be merry. But when we close your restaurants down, and then what is Little Jack Corner gonna do? He can't eat his cares away. Because you done shut his restaurant down.
Okay.
You done shut his ball playing down. And so that's what we're dealing with now. the distractions. We don't have those distractions, so we gotta be still.
Yes.
And know that there's an invisible God controlling an invisible virus, and you gotta sit there and watch George Floyd be tortured to death because we didn't gonna shut you down.
Mm-hmm. You right on the money.
You don't have nowhere to hide, nowhere to run to, and nowhere to hide because that reprobate mind of I don't there is no good, there is no bad, it's just whatever you wanna do.
Mm-hmm.
And look at the mess we're in because of that.
Yes, we are. Yeah. You wanted to comment, Lionel?
So,
I agree 100%.
That's
I mean, this is it's not complicated to understand what the problems are. And we've been saying this since I've been coming on the air with y'all, that this is the problem. Cognitive dissonance is a psychological disorder that is based on the existence of two separate ideas that are opposite of each other being held and maintained at the same time in your mind. Truth and falsehood are in conflict with each other. But when it's true and when it's falsehood have an equal position in our lives, fantasy and BS just have a controlling, dominant influence in our lives. And we don't recognize that is a conflict that will make us crazy, insane, that you cannot do that. You cannot have that kind of allegiance and commitment to foolishness and still be sane. It can't happen. And so when you look at all the foolish things, the magic, they got commercials where they talk about just point and your stuff will disappear. And people just, it's so much fun. You're just pointing and making stuff disappear on the commercial. You know, you got they can't even sell life insurance, auto insurance, without having somebody jumping in and out of a car like magic. Changing the scene of what you're looking at right before your eyes, make it look like it turns the car into a wad of money.
Yes.
Magic.
Yes.
This is the mindset that they know they put the American people into, and they don't respond unless you got some kind of foolishness in it. And that's the program. That's the program. We've been misled, bamboozled, run up, and led astray with foolishness, magic, illusion, and lies. And we got to get real, as the young people say.
Yes, sir. You are absolutely right on the money. 515-605-9325. Press 1 to speak. Thank you so much, Mama D, for calling in this morning. We appreciate you. Be sure and join Wisdom with Mama D coming up on the what's the date on your next show, Mama D? And also on the 19th, Mama D?
Well, December 18th.
December 18th.
The 155th anniversary of the ratifying of the 13th Amendment. So that kicks off, which actually abolished individual ownership of slaves and made it institutional ownership of slaves through incarceration. So it kicks off spiritual succession, divinity day, just like the South physically succeeded, we're going to have to spiritually succeed, and we have a whole week for kicking it off on the 18th, spiritual succession, divinity day, weapons of our warfare and our carnal but have divine power. So on the day I took the 16th and December 18th are the Divinity Days by Resolution in Chicago since 1995. So we'll be dealing with that whole thing to do to make a more perfect person in order to approach a more perfect union.
And Mama D, I need you. Mama D, I need you to check your email too, because I sent one to the Female Solution asking if you wanted to be to continue that Divinity Week, which you said it would last 4 weeks. So on the 18th, so on the 21st, I invited all my sisters of the microphone to be on the Divinity Week so we could discuss some of the ways in which we can make that happen. Are you open to that?
Oh, yes, I'm definitely open to that.
Wonderful.
Because it's just like each day will help you improve yourself. I think that December 19th has to do with apologizing and forgiveness and that stuff, but the 19th, the 20th has to do with just say no to white sugar, white flour, white potato, etc.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of self-improvement activities, because you're going to have to deal with that person in the mirror before you can go anywhere else. It's about the beam in your eye. When it's clear enough, then you can talk about somebody else's beam.
All right. Well, thank you, Mama D. Greatly appreciate that. So check your email and respond to it, because I want you on that show on the 21st. That's 2 weeks from today, okay? All righty.
Okay.
Thank you so much. As we go to the phone lines, 773-345. Is that a number? I guess it is 773-345. Okay, well, maybe when they come back, we'll bring them back up. But Lionel, I love the fact what Mama D said about, we got to take the out of our eye before we can point a finger in somebody else's direction, because I'm real good at that, pointing other. My husband reminds me all the time, I'm real good at pointing other folks' faults out, but when it comes to mine, I got a blind eye. It's like my eyes are closed. Sometimes they open, but sometimes they close too. And that's a challenge for us to work on ourselves. Like you said, it's just so much easier to just go and have some fun. Why we want to work ourselves? Things are fine the way they are. So why would we do anything else different?
Well, you reap what you sow, and growing up is about building muscles. Adulthood is about building strength, and strength is not going to do that. It's not as much as work.
Mm-hmm.
When you work is business. Work is what's real.
Right.
Foolishness is illusion and fantasy. And so children play all the time. Adults go to work.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not. We don't. The only reason why most of us go to work is so we can have fun. We can have enough money to have fun. We don't even enjoy the work that we do.
Okay.
It's just something to make the money. And once we make the money, what we do with it is go out and spend it on stuff that's going to make us feel good, give us an escape from reality. And this is a problem. This is a big problem. And it is an immature, irresponsible mindset that we've been given into in order that we can exploit it. Because it's easy to exploit children. You can take candy from a baby. You can do anything with a child. You can take advantage of a child. It's why criminal laws are set up for people who exploit children. Well, we're being exploited. The reason why we got 1% of the population who controls 90% of the wealth is because most of us are like little children. We have no adult focus, no adult mature vision of life. What we've been told about life is BS. What we've been told about religion is not really religion. This whole Christmas thing, beginning with December the 21st, the beginning of winter, the first day of winter, and 3 days after that, has more to do with the movement of the planets and the cycle of life that has been created, and that what is happening, the whole idea of the star that we're seeing in the heavens is as a sign of the birth of the Son of God. That's S-U-N, not S-O-N. And the reality of how that begins the process of generating life, a new cycle of life, is really what we're missing in our understanding of this season. And those who have knowledge, those who have some mature focus, understand that in the context of history, the present, and the future, that those three movements, those three disciples, have a combined influence on shaping our judgment and our response to life and the life cycles. And we need to get real. We really need to do that. We need to get real. Come out of the BS and the fantasy, throw that stuff away, and start focusing on what is real.
And nothing will change until we get real, as the children say, because getting real takes courage, because you're going to be, for lack of a better word, shamed by your peers for not getting real, for not participating.
I would say ridicule.
Ridicule.
You get ridiculed, but you don't feel no shame. If you know, once you know what's real, a child can't make you feel shame for not being childish.
Mm.
A fool can't make you feel bad for not being a damn fool. I'm trying to help your gut bad.
Okay.
I'm trying to get you to grow up, and you trying to make me feel bad?
Right.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't feel that. You don't want that problem.
That's not.
You got a serious problem.
That's not how it works.
No, that's not. So I don't feel ashamed by people who have no real understanding. And I keep wanting to go back to this idea of understanding as opposed to understanding.
Mm-hmm.
Understanding takes you deep. You got to go beneath the surface.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the real truth lies.
Mm-hmm.
You can understand all you want to, but until you get understanding, you cannot get too big standing over something that you have no foundation for.
All right.
That you have no groundwork to support. And being deep, being heavy, being dense are things that have to do with understanding. And the humble, the humility of being deep is what we want. It's where the mind and the soul and the spirit gain strength. And we need to get in touch with that. We need to get back in touch with the inner depth of the soul and the realities of history. I mean, history is something that we really have been grossly misled about. And most people know that. But they ain't trying to get into it because that's where a lot of the pain is too.
Yeah.
Because of how disruptive the history has been of the cycles of life, so the proper moral cycles of life. When religion is established by the power of the sword, when people make you become a member of their faith. And then generations later, everybody follows it as if it's natural. But this was forced on you. When you turn it back, you'll find that some of these religious ideas were established by brute force and savage cruelty. And the people expecting it in terms of the next generation and the next generation as if it was natural, as if they made the choice by conscious decision. No, that ain't what happened. And we need to recognize how history has been obscured because they can't face the reality of how it was established.
That's painful.
They don't talk about it because they don't want to talk about it because they know that they force people to accept this mess.
Let's go to the phone lines. Lionel, they are lit up. 407-701. You're live on the Female Solution Grand Rising. What's your name? Where are you calling from? 407-701.
Grand Rising. Good. This is Biasha in Florida.
Shalom. Yes,
So
my sister, the microphone. Thank you.
Friday morning health and wellness. When you talked about the revolution, I was reminded last night I watched a YouTube by Jimmy Dore. There's a revolution going on in India. They estimate 100 million people were in the streets, and they had video of this. It was amazing. They're protesting, and there's a revolution against the global minds like Bill Gates who are trying to take away the farmers' right to grow crops and natural environment. So there's a revolution going on, but some of the comments were saying, well, it's not going to be televised because the mainstream media is not going to put it on their face.
No.
That's the amazing thing. You got 100 million people in the streets of India, and nobody's putting it on CNN and MS, the mainstream media. So when you're talking about this global reset that's going on, and this whole pandemic is a global reset if you've been paying attention and going to see, my idea of overstanding is having a perspective from a higher place, the Most High is looking down on us and overstanding all this mess going on. And that's my idea of overstanding, is that we have a perspective of the Most High, the Creator, and the planetary system. Brother Lionel mentioned about the sun and the planets, the global reset that they're talking about down here that was started in this Agenda 21 meeting of all these elite egos. But there's a divine reset, as I mentioned last night on my show. There's a divine reset going on, Brother Lionel. I'm hoping you are aware of this. That is triggering us, that is motivating us, pushing us out of old paradigms into new paradigms, and out of the third dimension into the fifth dimension. How do we know that? The planets are lining up in a certain way. This is a really interesting astrological season for us, where we can not only see that the mainstream media has been pushing this idea that we have a serious disease, when the overstanding is viruses have been here longer than we have. Why are we trying to protect ourselves from a minuscule, microscopic element, a virus, when they've been here for thousands of years? We're doing that. Why? Because the mainstream media is telling us we need to be in fear because there's a global reset going on. But the Most High is saying there's a divine reset going on. We've got to change our values. We've got to change our belief system. Because why? The global reset is about man's control. But the divine reset, there's a lot of static. I don't know what's going on. It's out of noise. But the global reset is on one level of understanding, in my opinion, where they're trying to bring fear so they can have vaccination.
Yep.
But the divine reset is then, are you respecting the Creator's love and compassion and giving us a divine immune system? So I'd like to hear Brother Lionel's response to who is controlling the fear and the idea that we have a serious disease, and why aren't more people aware of what is really going on with the media when there's a revolution going on in India and we're not hearing about it? So who is controlling what is the question, and who are we going to have reverence for in this period of fear and disease?
Brother, I think always you have reverence for the Creator, for God, and to really have reverence, you need to seek understanding in the context of what has happened in the past. The more you know about yesterday, the better you'll understand what's going on today, and more prepared to deal with tomorrow. And we don't know enough about yesterday to really be able to make intelligent judgment. And so I would recommend that everybody study religion seriously, not just one religion, but all of them, and in a historical context, to know how they were established, to know when they were established, know changes that have happened, and who made those changes. So this is so important to what we need to, how we're going to respond today. Because if you think that all of this stuff is just divine order, and that what they're telling you about the birth of Jesus, and about what they're telling you about what's going on in the Muslim world, and what's going on with the Hindu religion, the Buddhist religion, you need to understand where these things came from. And it's serious enough for an adult to be able to take the responsibility to know. And we're not doing that. And until we do, we're going to be missing in terms of our direction. So
I don't understand what you're saying. We don't know the past. We have the internet. That's the divine reset, is that we need to be spending time doing research, like you said, getting to understand what happened in the past. And what happened in the past, there was a meeting that planned this pandemic that we're in. And people don't say, when they don't know that or understand that, they think, oh my goodness, there's a virus, it's going to kill me. Well, this was planned 3 or 4 or 5 years ago, maybe.
20 years ago.
One is one of the meetings. It's a global reset going on. So the divine reset is get your act in order, understand my divine presence. Like you said, the Most High is running this show, but we are, for instance, there were ventilators were used early in the year to quote, treat this deadly disease. People died from using ventilators. They don't use ventilators anymore. You don't hear anything about that anymore because they killed people using ventilators. The virus is not that deadly. But they're bringing out this information in the media that's fooling people, putting people in fear. What it's all about. What is this push for a vaccine for? This is what it was all about. To inject people with poison so we can control them even more. If we don't see this is the past that we need to know about, that we can clearly find out about if we do our homework. That's the divine reset. Is do your homework, people, and have reverence for the Creator that's given us a very strong immune system, but our brain is so filled with media bullshit that we're in fear and confusion. So we are in a time of season now. Here we are, the holiday. Put your lights up, have fun. You know, my grandchildren go to the beach with us, and they say, oh, I feel so alive. We have to stop them from feeling so alive because we have to get back to reality, which is a balance in our lives. We can't stay at the beach all day and have fun, but we need that fun this season we're in now to keep the stress and the fear and the condition we have our mind and body in. So I think it's a matter of balance. We can't have fun all day 24/7.
Absolutely.
But we got to have a little bit of fun to balance all this stress that the media and the government has put us in. So let's have balance in our lives and not be so much in reality of fear and, oh, this deadly disease. No, we got to go to the beach, have fun, cool out, eat stress, breathe, and then get back to researching what is really going on, because a lot of people are fooled about what's going on and they're ready to have vaccines injected in their sacred people.
And that is not the answer. And we're going to answer some more calls as soon as we come back from the break. We see you 312-823-706-202. We'll get right back to you after this commercial break, so stay close.
I'm Beata, your holistic life coach. These days, it's more important than ever to work on your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual health. Are you consciously breathing deeply in stressful moments? Do you have a plan or daily routine to maintain balance in your awesome body? Are you struggling to be disciplined in your eating habits? When you partner with me, I'll help you develop a personalized health plan that works for your particular lifestyle. You can find out more about me at yourholisticlifecoach.com, where you can also review my 3-step protocol to guide you to abundant health. That's yourholisticlifecoach.com, and I'm Haaque.
Hi, I'm Dr. CJ of Lionel, where we combine orthopedic manual therapy and neuroscience to treat the whole person. Health tip for the day is keep it moving. Doesn't matter how, just keep it moving doing something you enjoy. Walking, dancing, rolling on the floor with your dogs or kids, really anything. The body craves movement to keep its bones, joints, and the muscles happy. Even our mental health and internal organs and digestive system rely on our movement. Thanks for being a part of the Higher Learning Network, the Female Solution.
Hi, this is Lionel.
And I'm Lionel. Meet people like you who are making a positive difference in the world. Find us every day on The Media Connection at www.youtube.com/TheMediaConnectionTV.
There are people who choose to make a positive difference in the world. Our job is to bring you their stories to motivate you to do the same. Join us each week, host John Alexander and Naima Latif, as we bring you the educators, entertainers, elected officials, religious leaders, and community activists whose works are transforming this world. Find out how you can make a difference too. Be inspired. Watch The Media Connection. Mondays at 5 p.m. and Tuesdays at 12 noon on cable TV, Channel 19 in Chicago. And other cities, check your local cable listing.
Are you having challenges with your 2-year-old who has suddenly discovered they have a free will and has learned to tell you no? Are you having challenges with your 8-year-old who has suddenly learned how to tell untruth in order to avoid punishment? Are you having challenges with your 13-year-old who has suddenly realized that they know everything and you know nothing? Parenting is a challenge. Our children are here to learn and grow in understanding so that they can reach their highest creative potential and contribute to a new world of peace and harmony. To do our part as their teachers and protectors takes wisdom, patience, and skill. Join me, Naima Latif, and facilitator Mark Shaheed on the Parenting and Family Reconstruction Learning Lab every Thursday, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Central Time on American Muslim 360 Blog Talk Radio. Tune in at www.blogtalkradio.com/AmericanMuslim360. Call in with your questions at 515-605-9891. That's 515-605-9891. Spare the rod. Love the child.
Grand Rising. It's 8:36. We're back here live on The Female Solution. Welcome to Monday Morning Mindfulness. I'm your host, Zelda Speaks, and we're joined by Brother Lionel Abdul Haaque of Community Cultivations. We're discussing holiday hiccups, how to keep your sanity in the midst of the badness. As we go to the phone lines, please give us your name and where you're calling from in your comment. 312-823. 312-823.
Yes, this is Rashida. Are we calling?
Yes, ma'am. What's your comment or your question? Thank you for calling.
My comment is, my comment is...
Rashida, you got a lot of noise in the background. Rashida.
No, that's not me. That's somebody else.
Okay, well, I'm going to have to mute everybody until I figure out who that is. Go ahead,
There's
Rashida.
a guy in the background talking.
Okay, go ahead, Rashida. I've muted everybody but you and Lionel.
Okay. I think how we keep our sanity amongst this insanity is to, first of all, go back to the basics. Every religion, there's a scripture, and it tells us what to do during pandemics and other things, especially it tells us not to take our deities and glamour them up and put ornaments to make us happy once a year and then put it back. And that's a deity. So every religion, every scripture
tell us that. So we need to go back to the basis, and we need to actually identify our so-called leaders and do some scrutiny, because a lot of them who are supposed to be lawmakers are lawbreakers. So we got to make those who should be accountable in the pulpit out of the pulpit accountable and responsible.
Amen.
Because every race of people, India, they have their culture. Everywhere they have a culture. But it appears to me what's coming to be an outstanding culture in the African American community is hate and crime and blight. So we who are responsible and who are professional in our arena, our field, they should be accountable and stop some of this stigma that's over our head. As you said, point one finger at somebody else and you got four fingers pointing at you.
All right, now.
The truth of reality is that we cannot be happy in our own community. It's a law now that murder exists in our community and we allow it. We don't seek out the serial killer. We don't protest. We just go to the grave and say, "C'est la vie." That's not normal to me.
No, that's not normal.
We want to be part of abnormal people that pull out our keys and ornament to one time a year, as the Bible said, do not do, and ornament and decorate and put it back as a deity. Then that's on you. That's no fun to me. It's no fun when there's 93% of the black folks that are killed by black folks. The reality, if you're about reality and doing God's work and God's truth, you sort of resolve that, because it becomes like a law, a rule in our community to accept the negative that has nothing to do with God's work and our culture. But it's becoming part of our culture, because 93% of us doing each other, that's part of the black culture. That's part of the black law, because it's accepted in the community. And then we try to hush it up, it appears to me, that we try to hush it up and sugarcoat it and pretend like we want to be happy and do something that's not even of our ethnicity or culture to make us happy. And all the thing is doing is making us accrue more debt and more problems. So we got to get out.
You're absolutely right, Sister Rashida. Thank you so much for that comment. You are right in alignment with what the discussion here. Let's go to the phone line and get another call. 706-202. You're live on the Female Solution, Grand Rising. What's your name? Where are you calling from? And what's your comment?
Grand Rising. Brother Kwame calling.
Grand Rising, Brother Kwame. Thank you for calling.
Well, thank you for being there so I can call.
Thank us.
Thank us. That is the part, uniting spirits. And the conversation that my brother is giving is on point. But he's using a terminology in our story and then his story. So two stories, which one do we take? Because a lot of it is half truth, and half truth is a whole lot. So what we have to begin to understand is that acknowledging the divine you, life's truth. ADULT, adult. Acknowledge divine you, life's truth. Because we create these conscious helpers, individuals that are living divinity, which is a child. So what we have to begin to do is how we have to use our words, because words are God. And it says in their book. So in our understanding of how we acknowledge with our words our truth, because in that truth is that we're born with everything that we need. The universe is within us. We come from overground is that we come from what's over us is the cosmic, the universe, the creator. And when we stay, which is over us, and connect back to our higher self, then we have an opportunity to be more like what we use this word, God. And so in the language and speaking our truth, we begin to understand how to activate ourselves by using the correct language, the correct wording. Because, when which is faster, a thought or light? I think a thought is faster than light. And so in understanding that the thought becomes a light. And so we have to begin to understand how do we connect back to our cosmic self, because we all are aliens on this planet, because we're souls that have returned to an earthly world. And when we acknowledge that part of ourselves and begin to understand ourselves, we begin to look at ourselves in a higher way, not an under way. And we're being submissive to someone else's thoughts and saying how we should be, what we should be, who we should be. Malcolm said, dogs and slaves are named by their masters. Real men name themselves. So when you give yourself that name of being a victim, you're only submitting to, because we're all born free. We develop inside of the womb of a woman and come onto this earth free. The choice in that conscious helper, learning about his divinity, is part of the challenge of the parents, the mother and the father, to give them. That's why they're called a child in the beginning, and then when their bodies begin to create its power to make another life, then we call them an adolescent, because we as parents and as the village have to help them. We have to give them the lessons for them to understand how to walk as an adult, as a man and as a woman, because a man is to make another nation, a woman to make another nation as a woman. So to make ourselves generation after generation is not a genetic makeup, it's genes, but the genes are generated by love. And that's the heart. And once we understand that part of the heart, we'll stop pointing fingers, because you can't receive if your hands are all balled up. That's a fist. But if you open your hand, you have a way of receiving. And the magnificent part about the hand and the feet is that those two parts, the bottom of the feet is lighter than the rest of the body, and the palm of the hand is lighter than the rest of the body. So that means that is where the light is most prevalent, in being able to receive. When we walk on the earth, we receive the energy that comes from the earth. When we open our hand, we receive the light into us, and others can see us. That's why we wave our hand. We put it up so that light can be seen. And we've got to begin to look at how we define ourselves. And Mama D said it perfectly. It starts with that image, that mirror. Because we're made, when we look in the mirror, and mirrors are nothing but glass with silver. The back of a mirror, every mirror is covered in silver, so you can see yourself.
Sure is.
That's the magnificence of that mineral. It gives you a part of being able to see yourself. That frequency of looking at you, a golden mirror is even better. Because that frequency of your image is amplified. So how do we see ourselves, and what is our story?
Brother Kwame, can you share that part again about the hands and the feet being lighter? I didn't quite get that. Can you read? If I didn't get it, somebody else may have not understood it either.
And our bodies are made, and the thing that happens with it is we are melanated, and we could be dark as whatever, or light brown, but when you turn over the hand, it is light.
You're right.
One is, and the bottom of the feet is light. It is by a reason that our bodies are designed that way, and that being is that it is to receive.
Okay. Oh, as in the feet too, as in grounding.
Right.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've often wondered why that was. And I guess because it's on the inside and you don't see it often. So we don't really pay attention to it. That's quite interesting. To see, that's what I love about this show, Monday Morning Mindful. This is not my show. This is our show. I learn things just like you do. 847 on the Female Solution. If you just tuned in, that was Brother Kwame Sunhorse from Georgia. And we also have our monthly contributor, Brother Lionel Abdul Haaque of Community Cultivations. We want to try to get a few more calls in before the show is over. 901-644. You're live on the Female Solution. Grand Rising, what's your name? Where are you calling from? And what's your comment?
Good morning, Zelda.
Good morning. Hi, who's this?
My name is Wallace Red from Memphis, Tennessee.
Wallace Red, Memphis, Tennessee. Welcome. Thank you so much for calling us this morning. What's your comment, my brother? So good to hear from you.
Well, I want to agree with Rashida Ali and build on and expand what she said. And I think I've heard her expressing some disgruntledness about an experience she had with a murder or something like that, and talking about how we as a people should be accountable. And I totally agree. And so therefore I think we should add that to the discussion. The way we carry on, I mean, not you and not me, but many of our people, you know, with the robbing, the killing, stealing, and murder, and we're doing it to each other. And while we can talk about slavery, we can talk about the white man, the government, and yes, we should be suspicious of the government, and we know why, because it's in history. And so therefore, we should complete the discussion by holding ourselves accountable. And when you don't do that, like Kwame said, if you, that makes it, what did he say, a half truth is a whole lie.
Okay, now.
If we don't discuss these things and move to correct them, then that makes us what? As a people, that makes us complicit. Because we love talking about the white man, and we look the other way when some of us are unaccountable, when we misbehave and do things that are absolutely crazy. And no one can beat me talking about the government and the way in our history, the way we have been treated, but we're not going to get anywhere if we allow this riffraff to continue. We're not going to get anywhere. And I'll tell you something else, Delta.
Yes, sir.
We must understand revolution. And we must not be afraid to carry out revolution. We have to pay attention to the other countries. When they have that riffraff, they get rid of them. You see, go back to Queen Isabella and King Ferdinand. That's why they sent Columbus over here, and he screwed up everything. But they sent the ones who were in jail and locked up out of there. Look at Cuba. Castro got rid of them. You know, then they come over here complaining about their leadership over there. But we allow this foolishness to continue. We say nothing, and therefore we are complicit in this matter. And I thank you. Yes, I thank you for taking my call. I've been listening, and I've heard Rashid on quite a few occasions. And I wanted to offer her some support. So I'm not a big God person, but people who have that ideology about God, that's fine by me. I'm more into reality, and the reality is that we're in bad shape as a people. And all you have to do is listen to Dr. Claude Anderson, and he can break it down.
Yes.
Yes. If we don't do better, we're almost out of here, Zelda.
Yes. Yes.
People.
Yes. But that's not going to happen because we do what we need to do. Sometimes we do it in the nick of time, but it will be done. We're not going anywhere. But thank you so very much for calling and sharing that information. You wanted to comment, Brother Lionel?
Well, I think morality is key. If we get individually as well as collectively in tune with trying to purify our spirit, get back in touch with what we've been separated from. If we get back, if we purify, cleanse ourselves, if we give ourselves over to what is fundamentally what is moral judgments, and then begin to discipline and lock ourselves in strongly towards those fundamental moral principles, we can begin to earn the blessing of our Creator, who will respond to our movement. If we know we're in a very immoral, godless society where people use God as lip service, they don't really practice anything of a moral discipline, then we would be much better off. If we get back in touch with practicing fundamental ideals of what is right, what is morally right, what is the highest principle in the context of its moral value, then we will start to build the kind of strength, moral strength, and character that will enable us to manage whatever difficulties come our way. The Creator, Allah, Yahweh, is a moral God. He's always asked us to follow moral principles. So if we start to do that, I think we will earn the blessing of our Creator, who will help to guide us out of darkness and into light.
We gotta get still. We gotta sit still long enough to experience that, because it's not gonna come on its own. If you just tuned in, 515-605-9325, press 1 to speak. Did I get this call? 312-823? 312-823? Okay.
Hello?
Yeah, yes. Was that
Rashida again?
Oh, that was Rashida. I'm so sorry, Rashida. The brother Wallace Red just called in and commented. And just so you know, you are not alone in your thoughts. You are supported. We are all supported. Kwame, did you want to give a final comment before you leave?
Yeah, I would, and I'm the brother from Memphis, and Sister Rashida, and Brother Abdul. The thing is that we've got to understand that we have to begin to check ourselves, and it's an inside job. The Creator is giving us all of the consciousness that we're needing by the alignments that are happening. And we're having to understand, as does the order of nature, this is the season in which comes the winter. And in nature, everything takes a rest, and it goes in and begins to germinate the seeds, and it'll grow in the spring. And we have to do the same things with ourselves, because Napoleon Bonaparte said history is a lie that has been agreed upon. And
yes.
We have to understand is that we have to begin to, like you said, use the internet. The internet is a technical spiritual tool to find out truth and begin to teach ourselves and to teach our children these truths that we need to have, that will acknowledge that we are greater than the system that has taken us into captivity and been able to have us to kill ourselves and to hate ourselves and to do the things in which is being done to us. Because we always say it's safe, but we have to look at, they are not in our community putting the guns and doing the things that we're doing. We've been trained to do these things to ourselves for a reason, for a lack of knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to get the right knowledge, the knowledge of self. Man knows thyself.
Amen. Well, thank you for that comment, Brother Kwame. We greatly appreciate that. Lionel, if you want to close us out. Brother Lionel, you want to close us out?
Just to say, that again, that there is a God, there is a Creator, He's never been absent, and then we have been taken away from through deception, ideas that are inconsistent with the practices of discipline and the development of spiritual strength. And if we exercise those fundamental principles, just being calm, considerate, morally disciplined, we can grow a better understanding of what the foundation of the world is.
Amen.
That's what I would recommend that we do.
And if you'd like to leave your contact information, Lionel. Oh, very quickly, we got about just a minute, Lionel. For those who are on the switchboard, you still want to comment, push 1 as Naima joins us in the 9 o'clock Family Empowerment Hour. Push 1 now so that you don't get disconnected from the switchboard. Okay, so go ahead, Lionel. Your contact info.
773-642-1453.
That's 773-642-1453. If you would like to speak with Brother Lionel Abdul Haaque. Thank you so much for joining the broadcast this morning. We will be joined by my sister of the microphone, Naima Latif, who joins us with the Family Empowerment Hour. Before you leave, be sure on your phone, go to Google Play Store or Play Store or the App Store, and download the Higher Learning Network TV show app, which airs Tuesdays at 6, Wednesdays at 1 on Channel 19. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel on YouTube, Higher Learning Network TV show. You'll see it there. When you see this logo, you know you got the right one, because there's a lot of higher learnings, but there's only one Higher Learning Network TV show. So please subscribe. And thank you all for being a part of the topic, Holiday Hiccups, how to keep your sanity in the midst of the madness. Thank you so very, very much. As I am looking for my sister of the microphone, Naima Latif, don't see your mic open, my sister. Where are you? Oh, there she is, right there. I'm looking for her on the mic, and she's here with me on the board. Thank you, Naima. Thank you for joining us this morning. I forgot. Open up her. Unmute yourself, because I can't hear anything you're saying.
Okay.
You're very low.
Let me see. Where's my mic?
Okay, I heard you there. Say something.
Okay. Well, can you hear me now?
Yeah. Hear you loud and clear. Thank you so much.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Welcome to the Family Empowerment Hour right here on the Higher Learning Network TV show, which airs Tuesdays at 6, Wednesdays at 1 on Channel 19. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, and that is the Higher Learning Network TV show. Higher Learning Network TV show, because there's a lot of higher learnings out there, but there's only one Higher Learning Network, and that's it right there. So when you see this logo, HLN, with a black background, you will know that you are at the right place. Excuse me. And if you are here from our show from earlier this morning, you will know that the Female Solution lineup, Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on blogtalkradio.com, The Female Solution. And on Tuesdays, tomorrow, let's talk about it with Haaque. Wednesday, Naima Latif and Kareem Hamid, Repairing Family Relationships. On Thursday, Family Matters with Windy City Deloach Esquire, our attorney here on The Female Solution, and Health and Wellness on Friday with Viata. And let's not forget about Saturdays, 12 noon until 2 p.m. The first Saturday is Nonviolent Communication with Jana. The second Saturday is Love, Joy, Empowers, the Black Taboo. And on the third Saturday, Move Around with Deborah. And last but not least, Wisdom with Mama D. And Mama D called in the show this morning too. So you look forward to seeing her back here on the 21st as we talk about the week of divinity. Sunday, Soul Purpose Healing. If you didn't hear it last night, shame on you. Go back and hear it in the Blog Talk studio. But right now, it's our very own executive producer, my sister of the microphone, Queen Naima Latif. Thank you so much for joining us, my sister.
Grand Rising, and thank all of you all for staying with us. we're looking forward to more interaction from those who are still on our switchboard. And
all the numbers are lit up. I guess everybody wants to come in.
I want to say that is great. Well, you know, the thing about it, everybody who said something contributes to the collective thought, and all thoughts that were expressed today are relevant to the transformation that we're making and the new world we are creating. As has been said, the revolution is internal. It will not be televised, it will be internalized. And this is what we're doing every day on the Female Solution. Now, this week, of course, as always, we look forward to working on family relationships on my show on Wednesday. And of course, on Thursdays, our sister Wendy deals with some very specifics in terms of how we can get back fit to be in a relationship. But this is really at the foundation of where we need to start our repair. We cannot empower our families and empower ourselves until we do that inner repair work that makes us believe we are unlovable. That's where everything starts. And much of the damage, as Maika has been talking about on Tuesdays, is at the foundation level, where someone who raised you gave you the impression of who you are and why you exist. And if they were given misinformation and disinformation, then they damaged you and they treated you badly, because in their minds, either you were a mistake that they didn't intend to have, or you were born in sin and have to have the devil beat out of you every time you express an action that indicated your free will, or you are someone who is born from inferior parentage and deserves to be treated badly because God doesn't like you and the world doesn't like you either. Or you are someone who is a nuisance because you keep wanting to know why and you keep exploring things, and you need to just sit down and be quiet and shut up because children should be seen and not heard. So all of these wrong beliefs that many of our parents had when they raised us caused them to damage us severely and make ourselves believe we are unworthy of love. So we end up expressing that belief about ourselves unconsciously by drawing people to us that treat us in an unloving manner. And then we stay with them and allow them to continue to treat us in an unloving manner because of what we have been taught to believe about ourselves. And this goes for personal relationships as well as relationships with a greater society. Like Viata was pointing out how people keep on repeating the lies about people being inferior and people being less than human. Well, to keep repeating that is an indication that there's something inside of you that's believing that. Otherwise, why are you giving it your attention? Why are you validating disinformation by repeating it as if it matters to the reality of your identity? So that's one of the first things we, as an African descended people, having gone through a tremendous emotional trauma of having our humanity challenged in a horrendous way, we have to stop telling that story. And I'm not saying deny that it happened. I'm saying stop giving it power. Stop making that the thought in the minds of our children so that they're defining themselves as ex-slaves or victims or disenfranchised or minorities. Stop using language that has anything that gives them the impression they are less than anything on this planet. Yes. Stop using the language. Stop repeating disinformation. Stop giving it power. We are powerful, creative beings, and we are creating a new earth that is reflective of love. We can't do that until we stop repeating disinformation. It only serves to keep us depressed. And as you've talked about today, depression and how it robs you of energy. You have to replenish your energy from constant depression. And depression comes from the thoughts in one's own mind. More than what anybody's doing, it's how you think about what they're doing, and what you think about what they're doing, and how you think you're deserving of bad treatment that you're perceiving you're receiving. So all of these things are disempowering us, and we need to stop giving that our energy. And then we can start speaking into existence the future, the present that we want to experience. If we say we believe that our Creator is love, then let's speak lovingly to each other. Let's speak about each other lovingly. If there are people who are doing things that are unloving, why are we giving them our energy? Let's instead talk about the people who are doing good deeds. Let's talk about the people who are doing things such as handing out food to those families who are food deprived and need help. Let's talk about those people who are doing the wonderful work of taking care of our seniors and providing health care and teaching people wonderful things like how to grow food and how to grow healthy food. Let's talk about people who are doing the healing. Let's talk about people who are doing the creating and building and preparing wonderful things so that we can live in more comfort and ease. Let's talk about the things that are making life better and celebrate those people who are doing it, as opposed to giving our energy to people who are misbehaving because of their ignorance. We are giving power to them by speaking of them and repeating what they say. So our first task, if we want to change the present and the future, is to change what we are thinking and saying. Let's give our energy toward that which we want to manifest and that which we resent and hate and remember as having hurt us. And we have the power to do that every time we open our mouths. So when you open your mouth, think before you speak. Is what you're saying going to be empowering or disempowering? And if it's going to be something that disempowers you and makes you feel bad, don't speak it. Instead, say something else.
As Granny say, sometimes just don't say anything at all.
Sometimes, absolutely.
Anything good to say anybody about somebody, just don't even say anything. Because actually, when you speak ill of someone, you know that's karma, right?
Oh, absolutely. What goes around comes around.
Comes right back at you. So what? The way it was explained to me, words have wings.
Words have wings. I like
that. The wings that are flying around with the energy from your voice box, from your tongue. Be sure that that energy is good energy because it's coming back to you.
Absolutely.
You don't want negativity coming back to you.
You don't. And, once we get to that point where we can train our minds and our mouths,
ooh,
that's going to take some time because we're talking about lifelong habits of negative thought and words. But it has to be something we consciously practice.
Yeah.
Because we can't build something new if we're speaking something old. We have to change what we're speaking. And we have to change the words that we're using. We have an upcoming Global Peace Summit on Saturday, December 26th. And we're creating a very powerful session of training on nonviolent communication. And this comes from our first Saturday host from London, Jana, and the organization she's been with for a long time, which really teaches us a different way of talking to each other. Using words that affirm each other's worth and using words that show empathy for others' point of view, even if they differ, so that we can stop seeing each other as enemies, but just understand that each of us has a different point of view. Just like where you physically stand and you see something different than what I see because of where I'm physically standing. It's the same thing in life. Everybody sees the world differently because of their point of view. I'm looking out of my eyes, so I can describe what I see. You're looking out of your eyes, so you're going to describe what you see. It's not the same thing, but neither of us are wrong. Yeah. We're just seeing things from our point of view. So rather than condemn people for being wrong because they see things differently, we need to understand that they're seeing things based on their point of view, their experiences, and how they interpret those experiences. So we can stop condemning people as the enemy, and we can understand how they're seeing things from their point of view, and how at some point there is some commonality. So rather than us attack each other for being different, we learn how to speak differently to each other, words of affirmation and respect. So we're going to be having a session from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. of nonviolent communication. We're bringing together some factions of people who are really angry at each other right now. Police officers and families of those whose loved ones have been abused, and people who have been abused. And we're bringing together people from different street organizations who have been conditioned to see themselves as enemies. You know, Rashida talked about the killing that's going on. And this is very distressing because it seems like it's coming out of nowhere, but it really isn't coming out of nowhere. It's coming out of our homes and into the streets. And I'm not blaming parents. I'm asking us to take collective responsibility for the people that we have created by making them feel unlovable and unloved. And so therefore, they can't show love. They can only react with fear of attack. And that's why you see so many young people getting access to and carrying loaded guns. They're afraid they're going to be attacked, and sometimes they are. They're bullied. They seek refuge in groups that can offer protection because their families aren't offering protection. Their communities aren't offering protection. Their communities are frightened. Their communities are seeing each other as the enemy. So instead of us having those neighborhoods where Miss Jones looked out for everybody, Miss Smith looked out for everybody, all the children knew they were being watched and looked over, and everybody knew everybody's child by name, everybody's afraid of everybody. So then therefore we have become enemies, and we've been easily manipulated because we're enemies. And so our children are feeling lack of protection. So they have to go into survival mode. And sometimes they get involved in things that cause them to hurt people because they're believing they have to take what they need because there's nobody providing for them. They're coming from families where parents have been disabled by drug addiction and alcohol abuse. So a lot of these killings that are coming from adolescents, our brother Mark says an adolescent is an adult with less sense. And I believe it was Brother Kwame that said that we have to give them guidance because they have not reached that level of maturity. And then some of those who are numerically, physically mature are still operating with the mind of an adolescent because they haven't been raised by wise elders. So we have these people who are at different levels of awareness, inflicting harm on the community. They're not our enemies. They're part of us, and we need to give them love and guidance. And so we've got to bring people who are involved in this level of violent activity together and learn a science of communicating that will help them see things from the other person's point of view. Of course, we're only having this session for 1 hour, and we know we can't solve the world in an hour, but we can plant the seed, and that's what will be happening as part of this Global Peace Summit. And of course, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Central Time on Saturday, December 26th, that first day of Kwanzaa, which the principle is umoja, which means in Swahili, unity. We have to bring a unity among factions of people who see each other as enemies. This is the beginning of ending the violence. Violence comes out of fear, one side fearing the other, one side believing the other is the enemy, one side believing the other is going to kill them or hurt them or harm them. If we can talk to each other and see things from each other's point of view, we can stop the violence. And so we have to speak that into existence. We are going to stop the violence because we can.
We are stopping the violence.
Yes, we are stopping the violence.
In the now moment.
In the now moment. And just the thought is stopping it right now.
Yes. We can say it, but we got to be sure that the members in our families
Yes.
that we're protecting sometime because of fear or whatever reasons or economic reasons. It all begins at home. Everything begins at home.
Everything begins at home. Everything begins at home. And this is why those shows on relationships are critical. You have to learn how to be in a loving relationship, because a husband and wife is a partnership. It's the partnership that lays the foundation for the world. And when we can get that right, then we can create the kind of home in which we raise loving children who then can take the love out into the world instead of taking fear and hurt and anger out into the world. Everybody is taking with them what they learned from home, what they learned from their experiences, and they're projecting that outward. So if we don't like what we see being projected outward in terms of violence and hostility and hurtful behavior, then we have to fix where it started, in that relationship between two people who opened the doorway for this soul to come to physical existence. The mother and the father. Why is there so much anger between men and women? Why is there so much anger in our relationships? Why are they not able to be sustained? And all of that has to do with what we're taught growing up about ourselves. If I hate myself, how am I going to know how to love you?
That's not taught at home.
That's not taught at home. And it's not taught at home because the parents don't know how to teach it. They don't know, and they love us. They don't know how to teach love because they've been given misinformation about what love is. They've been given misinformation about who they are.
Reading, writing, and arithmetic, how to go get a job, work for a corporation, make as much money as you possibly can, and leave the family at home and let them figure it out on their own. That's just about the gist of it.
That's what happened.
So you wonder why things are the way they are? Now you know.
Now you know. So we are, as Viata said, this is a global reset. This is a do-over. We're changing all of these things that created these problems so that we can create something different. And we needed time to stop. We needed time for solitude. We needed time to separate ourselves from each other so we can look within. Stop pointing the finger at other people. You got to be by yourself for a while so you can look at yourself. Look in your mirror at yourself. Examine yourself.
And that takes some truth. That might be painful. And most of us don't want to experience that pain. We can't stand to be alone. Got to have TV on, radio on, got to have something on. Get quiet, breathe. What? Why? It's okay just like it is. I don't need to breathe. I'm breathing. What do I need to do?
And that is why it sometimes is challenging when you encounter somebody who's stuck in a pattern of behavior and they're afraid to come out of it. Because as you said, it's painful. Self-examination is painful.
Very.
Everybody who's been through a breakup, it's always a better feeling to point at the other person as being at fault and being wrong and being the one who needs fixing. It's very difficult to look at oneself and say, I did this. I caused hurt.
I do not want to experience this again. Oh,
yes.
For real. I've been through that path once. Why do I have to go back? I'm going to use myself as an example. Why I got to go back down that lane of experience the abuse I experienced as a child when my sister was out having babies, not the one that's living, but the one that's passed. Why I got to go back down that lane again? Because I'm still having back issues. Why? Because of the issues and our tissues won't let it rest. I feel anxiety in my body whenever I think about it because I know I need to do.
Yes.
Something.
Yeah.
I hear you, Maika. Maika's all in my head.
Gotta let it go.
All in my head. She's all in my head. If you haven't tuned into the Tuesday show, let's talk about it with Maika. Go to my Zelda Speaks page, YouTube page, Zelda Speaks and Zelda Speaks Mindfulness, and you'll see where I talk about my anxiety, my depression, my pain, all of that in that video on, I think it was talking about my pain. Yeah, I think it was. Oh, why I felt bad about myself or why I tried to kill myself, something like that. I don't remember what it was yet, but It's there on the YouTube channel, and it's not to highlight more pain, but it's to highlight what it's going to cost you to go within, because it's painful.
You have
necessary, but it's necessary if you're going to grow.
Right. Because nobody can see those things. Nobody can see those things that are hurting you. Only you can see them.
No.
And and I kind of like going to homegoing ceremonies, which is unfortunate in these times. We haven't been able to have them in the manner that people deserve their life celebrated. But you see all these wonderful things that people are expressing in terms of appreciation of the person who was in their midst for a time. And you think how wonderful it would have been for them to have heard that from you while they were physically among you. I mean, they might be hearing it on the other side, but it's not the same as hearing it while you're in this physical existence. Maybe that could have healed some of their feelings of inadequacy or ability, because they didn't know you felt that way about it.
Yes.
They never heard it. So we have to start speaking these things to people while they're here. And maybe us not being able to have funerals in the way we would like will help us be more mindful about expressing things to people while they're living among us, while they're in the flesh, while they can hear us and we can see them hear us. Mm-hmm. Say it now. Don't wait until they transition.
Can I tell our secret about the discussion we had?
Oh, absolutely.
About my fake funeral?
Well, sometimes that's the best way to find out what people really think.
And somebody might say that that's egotistical, and it might be, but it was an idea because we had the conversation. The ideas come up, they got to come out.
Right.
So people are always, like you just said, tell you when they go to your memorial, they talk about all these wonderful things and who you were and how you helped them and how you just made them feel better. I said, Naima, let's have me a fake funeral. Fake memorial, because we're not doing the casket. Well, my husband just called me retarded. What did you say? He said that is so crazy.
I know it sounds morbid, but all of us have thought.
Yeah, we've had crazy thoughts. I'm just telling mine.
Yeah. You just saying it out loud, but a lot of people thought it inside. They just
I'm not the only one. And because nobody tells me that now, nobody but you. Well, and my sisters on the microphone, yeah. Nobody tells me how much they appreciate me. All these other people who gonna show up at the memorial, ain't none of them told. Well, quit lying. I have a few of them, but the majority have not.
And there would be people who you haven't seen in years. You'd be thinking, what? They came to my funeral? Because they realize you touched their life. Sure. And that's the time when people remember, she touched my life. And and when they say their little, spiel about you and what they remember, it'll be something that happened long ago. You're thinking, they're still thinking about that. What? I remember when I was 5 years old and she shared her popsicle.
Okay. Wow.
Those are the things, and you realize your whole life leaving impressions on people.
Yeah.
They didn't realize it and express appreciation for it until you made your exit, and they realize, oh, she's going to be gone. I'm not going to see her here anymore. Oh, I remember. Oh, I really appreciate her. But it would have been nice to hear it while you're here. So all of us have had that fantasy. I would love to be sitting in a room while people are talking about me at my funeral so I can hear what they say. I mean, we all think that because, I have an obsession as well. I'm thinking, I wonder if anybody's even going to show up. Even hopefully I transition after COVID.
Okay.
But you think, wow, will people be too busy to even come? Will they care? Will anybody miss me? And you think all those things. We all do, because everybody wants to feel like their life was significant. I think the saddest, most depressing feeling is to think that your life meant nothing.
Yeah. Nobody had anything good to say about you. But you know what? Even at memorials or funerals where people show up and there's nothing good. I mean, the person would just rot gut and there's nothing. People will get up and lie and say that they were a good person.
They
remember what?
Do it. No one ever said anything bad about anybody at a funeral, even if nobody could stand them.
Yeah, they would never say anything. Except for one.
rappers.
The movie we saw with Whoopi Goldberg and LL Cool J. What was it called? Kingdom Come, I think it was. I'm not
I don't know
sure.
if I saw that one. And what happened?
Whoopi, at the funeral, they were all saying good things, and Whoopi said, "Stop, y'all lying." What was the word she used? I can't remember the word she used. He was, but in essence, he was evil. He was not a good person.
Out loud.
Telling it loud. It's like somebody needs to say it because if he was rot gut, he was rot gut. It was what it was. It is what it is. Anyway, it's 9:28. I hope you've enjoyed the Family Empowerment Hour. It has been a blessing and a privilege and a pleasure to enter into your home, your office, your living room, bathroom, wherever you might be when you enjoyed this session. And I hope you'll share it and like it and subscribe to our YouTube channel if you would be so kind. It's the Higher Learning Network TV show.
Absolutely.
Channel. When you see that logo in the background with the green, purple, and orange, you'll know you're at the right one. So please subscribe and please share and please be mindful of that which you say, so that what you speak into existence, what you speak and it becomes reality. Just know that you thought it. In the words of Luther Vandross, I thought about you. When you think it, it'll be it. So be mindful of the words that you say. Close us out, Naima.
Well, of course, join us every day of the week, Monday through Friday, on the Female Solution Radio Show. We've got a wonderful team of hosts that bring you to higher consciousness. Join us tomorrow for Let's Talk About It with Maika. And of course, on Wednesday, I'll be there with my co-host, Kareem Hamid, as we talk about repairing family relationships. And we want you to prepare for our wonderful Global Peace Summit on Saturday, December 26th, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. on the Female Solution Facebook page. And of course, we'll be live on the Female Solution Radio Show, 12 noon to 2 p.m. Central Time. And we've got some wonderful sessions. Of course, you're going to hear from Mama D. She talks about wisdom, woman in support of daughters on motherhood preparation. We're going to have a special session on motherhood training. So join us for that entire day as we gather great minds from around the world to share their knowledge on how to create communities where we can all live together in peace.
And all communities begin right here at home, in your home. Thank you so much, my sister of the microphone, Naima Latif. And I hope you can join us tonight at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time on Bitcoin, the Bitcoin experience, what it is, and how you can possibly benefit from it. And whatever you do, remember to download the Higher Learning Network TV show app, which airs Tuesdays at 6, Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time on Channel 19 and 24/7 on our YouTube channel. So please go and subscribe. Just download the Higher Learning Network app. Did you know we had an app? Higher Learning Network. So go to Google Play or the App Store and you can download it right there. In the meantime, in between time, the Higher Learning Network Teen Talent Summit kicks off December 19th is round 1. December 26th is round 2, and both of these begin at noon. And on December 28th, we'll announce the winners right here on the Female Solution
all right.
Network show. And this show is sponsored by Karen Kelly of itex.com. And if you would like to support the Teen Talent Showcase, if you have products or services that you would like to donate to our winners of the if they're singing, they're rapping, they're dancing, spoken word, poetry, things of that nature, we want to encourage our youth. Let's not talk about them. Let's talk with them and encourage them to help them improve quality of life. Where were y'all at when I was around? Okay. But thank you so much. Stay on purpose. Whatever you do, stay empowered and stay tuned to your next mindfulness, Monday morning mindfulness, right on the Female Solution and the Higher Learning Network TV show. Shalom. Peace. Namaste. Hotel. Make it a great day. And thanks for watching.